Hi everyone, welcome to today's conversation. Today we have Poonam with us, and she is one of the most dynamic personalities that I have come across in this life. She is the founder of Meteoric Pharmaceuticals, Biopharmaceuticals. She is a serial entrepreneur and she is the managing trustee of Vishal Wind Foundation. But most importantly, she is a fearless fighter, somebody who does not know how to give in or give up. She is somebody who has always fought for what she has believed in, and she does go out of her way to bring changes in her life and lives of others around her. So thank you so much, Poonam, for joining us, and thank you for this beautiful opportunity of having this conversation with you.
Thank you, Radhika. I'm very happy to be here with you today, and I think I always see you as a very positive person, and I think this is all manifested today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let us begin with first the topic,
Sure.
which is divine feminine energy. So, what is your understanding of divine feminine energy?
I think any energy for me is divine when if feminine or not feminine is not something I have evaluated so far, but any energy which is divine for me is my belief, and my belief in my God, my belief in the people I work with. My belief in my child, my family. So I think it turns into divine when that belief gets stronger by the time. I think I also learned that from you, Radhika, because I already had certain beliefs when I met you, but you actually taught me to make it stronger. And I think that makes us more divine. And when I say feminine energy, I really feel that today, whatever I'm able to do with all the positive energies that I have, it is just because I'm a woman. And I'm blessed to be in this sexual orientation in this life. So yes, so this is what the divine feminine energy for me is.
Beautiful. So, your beliefs and the way you hold those beliefs in makes you as a person divine, and that is what divine feminine energy is. It's such a beautiful perspective. How do you then think, Poonam, you bring a balance between your masculine energies and feminine energies? Because as an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, and leading so many different companies, and it was such varied work that you do, there is a lot of feminine energy that is required of nurturing, creativity, and masculine energy of leadership, goal-orientated. How do you balance that?
I have been always talking about 50-50 partnership as far as the feminine and masculine energies are concerned. Why I believe in 50-50% is because Lord Shiva is a set example of being Ardhanareshwar, and which signifies that everything we do in life has to have that 50-50% partnership of a man and a woman. And my belief got stronger when I floated my business, and when my husband joined, and we did it better and better each time. Today also I feel that if we both put in our best efforts, we'll be able to do much more better for each other, for our organization, and for hundreds of people that work for us. Decision making sometimes, because we live in a society where masculine decisions are given a priority over the feminine decisions. But fortunately, I have never experienced this in my house, even at my father's place, because my father was the one who promoted me to do whatever I'm doing today in my life. And he had always put that faith in me. So his masculine energy and my energy of, learning from him and then executing has always helped me. And similarly, my partnership with my husband, the combined efforts that we both put in, I think is giving the complete shape to whatever we have been able to achieve so far. So I think it is all about believing in each other and not believing in the one-upmanship, attitude or behavior. And I have been very fortunate that I have always had men around me who have never.
Similar thought
Yes,
process and similar
exactly.
beliefs.
So yeah, that is what I feel.
Amazing. So we are doing this conversation, and the premise is the Navratri festival that is round the corner,
Yes,
and the 9 forms of Goddess Durga.
yes,
You are our 4th guest and the 4th Devi that who is worshipped in the 9 forms is Devi Kushmanda.
right.
Devi Kushmanda is that creative force behind the creation of this entire universe.
Right.
So, how has your creativity or your unique vision shaped up your personal and professional life? Any story or any experience of your personal life and your professional life that you would like to share?
Here, I would like to share the example of my foundation, Radhika. I was completely new to it. I had never done something in the social sector, but I always wanted to do.
So, Vishal Win Foundation,
Yes.
we are talking.
And when we lost Vishal Bhaiya in 2018, this thought became stronger that we do not want his name to die. And we wanted his name to be around us, his beliefs and his nature and his attitude to be around us. So how would I do that was always a question I asked myself. And then I thought that I would want to do this foundation, name it in his name. And that is how it is called Vishal Win Foundation. His name was Vishal. And then I did not know how to begin, what to start with. So he passed away in a road accident, and I wanted to work on the road accident side, on the awareness part, as well as setting up ambulances in the accident-prone zones. That was one direction that I had from his life, or the way his life, but at the same time, I also wanted to work for children with special needs. I was very new to the special needs sector. One of my office colleagues was gifted with a child with Down syndrome, and he did not know what to do with the child, how to take care of the child going forward.
That was your inspiration?
Yes, and that became my first inspiration to maybe be creative, or maybe learn, or maybe just absorb from the environment and the society as to how these kids are treated, whether there is enough for these children. And that is how I started working in this field. And today, after around 2019 to 24, around 5 to 6 years of my NGO, I'm very proud that we work with more than 1,000 special children. And we have understood the requirements of these special kids and the parents, the sensitivity that we need around it of society. Yeah. We have also done various awareness programs for disability awareness, particularly for neurodiversity awareness. We understood the sector very closely. We are doing programs into education, early intervention. We also do pre-vocational efforts for these children. We also try and counsel the parents and understand the parents' perspective. We try to tell the society why we should be including these souls. And I have also been tirelessly working to promote disability inclusion at workplaces. So I think that is what my energy, what I derive from Goddess Kushmanda.
Beautiful initiative, and so much of inspiration for others who are listening to this. How much can we do with this creative force? Tapping into this kind of unique vision and taking inspiration from our own life around us, and how beautifully can we shape it up into a vision that serves not just a smaller number of people but a larger community. Beautiful. Thank you for doing what you're doing, Poonam. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You have traveled the world, Poonam, and you have also, I assume, observed the cultural ways in which we see the divine feminine energy here in our country and across the world.
Right.
Do you see any difference? And when I say divine feminine energy, it is that divinity of courage, the wisdom, the clarity, the creativity that we are talking about, Devi Kushmanda's creativity.
Yeah.
How do you see women tapping into these energies here in India and across the globe?
Right. Let me just quote few examples of few countries that I have traveled and seen closely or worked with very closely. To start with China, you know that there's a huge female workforce in China. And these women in China are not just very, huge workforce in numbers, but also a very powerful workforce because they are very serious about their careers and what they want to achieve in life, and also about their beliefs that, they are the ones who are going to run family and they are not getting good men around, and they would wait for 35, 40 years to get the right partner because they at least want a financially stable person to get married to. This is a similar situation in Korea now, where I see the women are more enterprising and they are finding it difficult to get a match which is closer to what
they have achieved, what they are doing.
And these women professionals that I have worked with, or I will work with them in future, I'm telling you, they are so sincere. They get so much to the table and so much substance to the table that you will not miss sitting with a man and talking better business than what they are talking with you. And I think that has also come in these countries by the conditioning that their mothers have done to them. And I think that is divinity for me. The conditioning that each woman goes through and the next generation, adopting it and making the most of it. I talk on many women forums and I don't remember the numbers as of now, but if even the 50% women in India join the workforce, it will double our GDP. And that is what is the divinity or the courage that a woman can show or a woman can execute.
And she can show that she can do both, raise
children,
beautiful mindset children,
yes,
and at the same time put her best
absolutely
into the work that she loves to do.
Absolutely. And see the Indian women outside India. Let us see the example of US. The Indian women in US, they know that they have to be attached to the Indian values that they have. They also want to adopt the new culture. So they learn to work outside house, inside house, do the dishes, which we even don't do here.
Correct.
But they would do the dishes, but they would go out and work. They are the chauffeur themselves. They are the shopper themselves. They are the bread earner themselves, and they are the nurturer themselves. I think they wear more hats than us in India because we have a closely knit society where we have many social helps around in the form of our mothers, our aunts, our many other friends also.
Home help.
And of course the house helps, and which they don't have it over there. The family proximities are not that closer. So I think the perseverance, the resilience that they show there is much more stronger than what we probably are doing over here. And that is much more far away from the families. So I think they do demonstrate a lot of strength. And again, that divine feminine energy is actually pushing them to do that. And they're executing it so beautifully.
Beautifully, indeed. So, in all of this, how important it is to tap into your intuitive self, Poonam, in your everyday life.
Yeah.
When you're working, when you are even making some very personal life decisions, how has intuition played a role, and how do you tap into your intuition?
It plays a very important role in an entrepreneur's life. Because we are always here as a decision maker. And most of the time, the statistics, the numbers, the research works, keep upon everything. It is your intuition that tells you that this is the right person to work with, or this is the right company to work with, or this is the right employee to hire.
Yes.
Apart from all the experiences that you have, that your intuition or your inner belief or that inner strength or inner voice that tells you that no, ये कर लेगा या ये कर लेगी, या you know, if I associate it with this company, I will get what I want. Not every time those intuitions are correct, but if you have a great sense of intuition or you believe your intuitions, that makes you one of the best entrepreneurs and a decision maker, because your people are trusting you on your decisions.
Correct.
And it is a very, very important part of being an entrepreneur, where your decisions cannot and should not go wrong all the time. That is why the belief on your intuition and converting your intuition into decisions is very, very important, is what I feel.
And how do you
at home.
polish that intuition? Yes, at home.
So polishing the intuition, I think that's the only one thing that we do, is we combine the intuition with the data that we have at work, right? Our intuition might say X, but the data might be showing Y. Sometimes there is a conflict and we'll take a third position,
Correct.
but that data works.
So we have talked and touched upon a lot of topics like the creativity and your belief system, and how you have taken decisions in your personal life and professional life, and how they have been from the space of knowing yourself, because intuition is all about knowing yourself, connecting with your inner voice.
Yeah.
Is there any practice that you do or a ritual on a daily basis to tap into that energy of divine feminine? And again, divine feminine, like we talked about Devi Kushmanda, the creative force inside you, the courage inside you, the creativity inside you.
So very recently, since I met you, Radhika, I have made a practice of doing my affirmations every day.
Yeah.
So that really helps me, although I have not been practicing it continuously in the past. But now, after meeting you, yes, I have done it. I do my puja every day, and we have all the gods in our mandir. We worship Ganesha as much as we do Krishna
Hanumanji.
or Hanumanji or Devi Durga. Now, when we have Navratri, my husband, he would fast for all 9 days. We get blessings from Ma Durga whenever we try and visit any of her temples, like Ambaji temple over here. I have had the privilege of also going to Ma Kamakhya's temple. Right. So there is not practice as such, but yes, the positive affirmations every day, that really help. And the belief system that there is somebody above us, somebody over us, protecting us, looking after us, and actually counting my karmas. I think I strongly believe in karma, and I feel that the more your karma is good, or the more you perceive your karmas to be good, you have less to feel guilty about, or you have more confidence to go to your divine energy and say or surrender to them by saying that this is what I have done with all my heart, and just give me the fruits. So I think that is my belief, and
And that's such a profound belief, because that keeps a check.
Yes.
Every time we are saying something or thinking something, and of course doing something, all three count as our karma.
Yes.
And when we are in that awareness, we are constantly upgrading ourselves.
Yes.
So to sum it all, Poonam, what is it that you would like to give advice to the young generation, and what kind of legacy of hope would you like to leave for the young generation, for the future generation, to tap into their divine feminine energy? Because in our understanding, both men and women need to tap into these energies to make the most of their life. So creative force is not limited to just women, or nurturing, for that matter, is not limited to just women.
Yes.
And so is courage and perseverance.
Yes.
So what is that advice that you would like to?
I think just 2 to 3 pieces of advice that I would always want to give to girls for always believing in their energies, their divine feminine energy, is The first things first is, if anybody is trying to tell them that they are the second gender, don't believe in that. There is no first or second gender. When you give birth, you need two people. When you raise, you need two people. Even when you get married, you need two people. So there is always a team effort that is required to be a family, a friend, even an entrepreneur is what I feel, because you have a very strong team around you. So one is this. Second is, never surrender to one-upmanship. Somebody telling you, I am the head, or, I know better than you. You surrender to that one-upmanship only when you know that that person has much more knowledge than you. He or she has seen much more, nights of life than you. So you can always take that piece of advice, but always take decisions from your wisdom, because I strongly believe in, my risk, my reward. And everyone should actually, venturing, be available to venture into my risk, my reward sort of a situation, so that you don't blame anybody for whatever you've had in life. And I think the last thing is that being a woman, or being born in the body of a woman, actually is already very powerful, because we have not been only blessed with, this system that we have been given, where we can give birth, we can reproduce, but also a lot of patience and resilience, because we face a lot of physical changes in our bodies when we grow up. We get to understand that just because we want to give birth, we also have to go through the menstruation cycles. And that menstrual cycles are also giving us lots of hormone changes. And every time as a woman, what we are trying to do is to learn to balance. Learn to balance our hormones, learn to balance our life, learn to balance our moods, learn to balance, the physical changes that we are
not balance and suppress.
Then suppress, correct. So I would urge all the girls out there to balance and not suppress, because suppress would take us to a very bad state of the mind. It will disturb the peace of mind. So I think to always keep lighting that divine feminine energy, I always want to tell everyone, every woman out there, that keep that balance in your mind, but also believe that you need that 50% partnerships everywhere, and seek for it. Don't dominate it.
Or rather, don't dominate it, and don't shy away from it. Don't think that you can do it all and you can become a superwoman who has 10 hands and you must do it to prove anything.
Yes.
If you need help, ask for it.
Yes, absolutely.
It was a beautiful, powerful conversation with Poonam, and really some great insights that we received from how to tap into your creative force, how to make real life experiences as your inspiration, to how not to blame things on anybody, not to become the second one, not to surrender by force. Your risk is your reward. So believe in yourself, believe in your worth, and most importantly, find balance here. Your balance here and in your heart is going to take you a long way. Thank you so much, Poonam. Thank you for sharing such valuable insights, and thank you for being my guest.
And thank you, Radhika. I would like to sum up with few words that I always use, that manzil milegi भटक कर ही सही, मंजिल मिलेगी भटक कर ही सही, गुमराह तो वो है जो घर से निकले ही नहीं. So, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.